You're listening to SMSF Connect podcast on i-radiolive that brings you programs covering a variety of genres under development.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the SMSF Connect podcast, where we aim to bring you the experiences and insights of people and organizations who are making a significant contributions towards social development. Our podcast is dedicated to creating a platform for sharing stories, best practices, and innovations that are driving positive social impact in our communities. So friends, in this episode of Let's Connect with your show host Pooja Murada, we are delighted to have with us Mr. Garba Diallo, one of the founding members of Crossing Borders and our special guest for today's show. Welcome, Garba.
Thank you very much, Pooja. Thank you so much. I'm so glad to meet you here online and to share, some experiences and insight about crossing borders.
Thank you.
Yes, as you see, crossing borders actually is, as the name indicates, is crossing borders at all kind of levels, not just the physical borders, but also the cultural, the emotional, and the generational borders. And we try to do this because we think that we need all the good ideas and the perspectives from all sides. One side is not enough. Mm-hmm. That's why we have a community, So that's why we have crossing borders.
That's very interesting to know the background, the meaning that goes behind the word crossing borders. Thanks, Garba. We would actually also like to know a bit more about you and your association and the development journey of you with Crossing Borders.
Yeah, actually, it's very much, I founded Crossing Borders actually almost, together with other friends and the people who participated in our workshops, in our seminars, because it resonates with my own life. I'm originally a cowboy from Mauritania in West Africa, from the Fulani community. We were just supposed to, and up to now, most people actually don't go to school. They just follow their cows, and they cross borders where they see it's more green, where there is water, So we are not bound by the physical or even the cultural borders, because we live in approximately 30 countries, West Africa through East Africa, actually from the Atlantic in Mauritania, Senegal, across the Sahel and Savannah Belt, all the way to the Red Sea.
Yeah.
And that means we have to coexist and collaborate with other communities who have different lifestyles, especially farmers. And the farmers and the Fulanis, we have the cows, we are never farming people. But we depend on the farms to get grain, to get food, and they also depend on our cows, to fertilize actually their farms and to get milk and so on and so forth. So we have to coexist. We have to cross borders culturally to coexist with the neighbors, the people, the neighboring communities, who are hundreds of different communities in West Africa. As you know, there are 3,000 languages in Africa. So people have to exist. It's like India. You cannot just say, I just have to be Muslim or Hindu. You have to coexist everywhere. So that's why after, going to school, actually when I was 19, I ended up in Qatar. That's where I met all kind of people, especially from India also. Okay. And then I lived there 10 years. Then I moved to Norway for 7 years, and now more than 30 years in Denmark.
Yes.
So it gives meaning to my life, because every country I visit, I say, this is the best.
What you're saying actually, it reminds me one of the articles that was published in a Dutch magazine on you. It was actually an interview of yours. It was talking more about what you just spoke on, the schools and the education, and how the different crossing the borders, and what are your takes on the education at different places. So
Yeah.
I happened to read that article of yours, and I was also very inspired to read that.
Thank you very much. Actually, after moving to Norway for 7 years, I was invited to give a talk in Denmark in 1991. And so there are special community colleges in Denmark called the Folkehøjskole or People's Colleges. That's where I worked and and lived inside with people from all over the world for almost 30 years.
Oh, I see.
And that's where I met Japanese, Koreans, Indians, and Bhutanese, Nepalese, people from everywhere, from every single country.
Oh,
And then
interesting.
I got the idea. I said, wow, this kind of space, you can bring people because people everywhere in the world want peace,
Yes.
they want community, they want to be included. They want to participate. So everyone wants to join, to be together, but they don't accept to be dominated. They don't accept to be kind of excluded, like we see in the global kind of disorder or global order, where people have many people have too little. I brought 60 of them, teachers, journalists, youth leaders, and we started to work together and to produce a magazine called Crossing Borders. And, doing peace instead of talking about peace. We met in Denmark many times,
Okay.
in Germany, in Cyprus, in Greece, in Turkey, in Jerusalem, in Haifa, in Ramallah, all these places. So it was a project funded by the Danish Ministry of Foreign Affairs from 1994 to 1998. So from 1999, like Segal Foundation, we transformed into Crossing Borders, focusing on youth and creating spaces for dialogue.
Interesting. Good. Yeah, it's very insightful to know what crossing border actually means, the word, the meaning behind the organization, and the background that you just shared. What's your unique approach to instigating change through what you call the 4 C's? Curiosity, competence, care, and communication. So please tell us more about that approach of yours.
Yes, I mean, this is actually, we create a space for dialogue. And I say that we have to walk the talk. We cannot just talk about dialogue or being international or global, and then you go to our office, to our leadership, our advisory board, you find only one ethnic group. That does not work. That is the problem. Everyone now in the world, you ask them whether it's the Chipko women or down here in Denmark, everyone would say, well, we are global, we are international. But you go to an office, their leadership, their activities are not global at all.
Yeah.
They are one-sided, and many of them are kind of plagued by the issue of I'm going to help the others. Crossing borders, we are not going to help anybody. We are learning actually more from Segal Foundation than the other way around. Actually, you are helping us. And that's what happens in all our 40 projects around the world, from Armenia to Zimbabwe, India, and then across Europe. So we try to walk the talk, bring the people to work together, learn to live, work, and produce together, and then connect across interest. Because at the end of the day, the interests are the basis, the common ground from which we can work. So it's so through that, creating that space for dialogue actually is not enough. You have to give people the competencies, the skills to listen and to engage in dialogue and to work together. And sometimes we organize a lot of traveling together. We say, okay, when you travel together, kind of you have a new space and new time situation you have to adapt to. And that kind of creates bonding. Just this weekend, we have 2 of our volunteers, one from France and one from Egypt. They just met 1 week now. They travel to Sweden. I saw they're in the snow, traveling together because they found that they have common interest.
I see.
And then in terms of curiosity, of course, when we meet people like, go to India or work with India, complex countries, then you have to be curious. You have to find out, wow, there are so many good ideas. There are so many diversity. There are so much to learn, so much to develop. And then, we focus on youth. Maybe question, why do we focus on youth and women?
Yeah,
that's really so basic, because young people are the leaders of today, not tomorrow. I always tell them, don't accept to be told you will be leader tomorrow, because tomorrow never comes. It's always today.
Yes. Yeah.
And if you look at all the changes around the world, positive changes, from, again, the Chipko women down to Greta Thunberg in Sweden, they are all led by young people. All the changes you see in the world led by young people, and young people in many countries like the global south, Africa, 75% of the people are young, under 30 years old. But they are not responsible for the pollution, for the crisis, for the conflict, but they are paying the prices in terms of their lives, their education, their jobs, and future opportunities.
Yeah.
So it's very important. It's a matter of justice and a matter of inclusion. And when it comes to women also, women everywhere in the world, we know that women are kind of a symbol of Mother Earth. Cannot exist without women. Women are the anchor for society. I remember my mother, never been to school until she passed away when she was 97.
I see.
She had 10 kids.
Interesting. She was
my
active.
father wanted to go to school, but he traveled all around. Once he was away for 3 years because he wanted to go to Mecca, and he got stuck in Sudan for 3 years. But actually, we don't even notice when he was not there. But if my mother was sick, 1 minute we starved, because she could always find a way to get food and drink and food to give us.
Yeah.
So she had 10 kids, and before she passed on, actually she saw her granddaughter. Granddaughter's granddaughter.
Oh, nice.
So now we are, just from her side, now we are more than, 400 or 500 people across the world, from JP Morgan down to, cowboys in the villages, or all kinds of things, and me doing all kinds of things around the world, Next week I'm, going to give a workshop for Japanese.
Wow.
And I also go to Korea, go all around the world to give talks, and also online talks and things. So this diversity, women are not only 51%, but in terms of the value, livelihood, production, I think women are at least 90%.
Yeah, and you said your mother was 97. Yes. You said your mother was 97. And 97. You're going to Japan. I could say that she must have found her ikigai.
Yes, I think so. But there are many like that. Many like that. I went to India in 2012 and volunteered at this Navdanya,
Navdanya, yes.
Vandana Shiva, the scientist, the life scientist, and the earth scientist, and the philosopher. I was there. I was just seeing that this farm run by a woman and many other women, they have more, it's a small farm, but they have more than 600 varieties of rice. Because in my cowboy life, I saw rice, there was only one variety, but 600 varieties in this stuff,
Yes, the local.
They have seed bank and so on. So
it's the local variety.
So it's just basic. It's a matter of justice, a matter of sustainability to focus on youth and women. That's why, I am so grateful that we are working with you.
Well said, yes. And it is about partnership, it is about co-learning. I think that leads to the success of any project, like, Segal Foundation and Crossing Borders are doing together.
Yeah.
So now looking at your organization's mission to educate, connect and empower people to become active global citizens, I'd also like to know, and for the benefit of our audience and listeners, if you give some insights into how Crossing Border celebrates diversity and provides safe places and safe spaces for dialogue and change.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, creating a space for dialogue, we do it by actually walking the talk.
Okay.
In my office now, there are about 20 people. We are from 18 different countries.
Interesting.
Only 2 days. The rest are including one from India, one from Serbia, one from Georgia, Egypt, all over.
Okay.
So we do that because if you just, that's also a matter of honesty. When we say that we are celebrating diversity, we have to do it in practice, not just talk about it. That's what we do. And then all our activities, diversity is about who we are in our office, in our partnership, and in our activities. Our activities are also diverse. We start with education, the most basic. Human beings are you can say, the weakest links in life, but at the same time, we have huge potentials.
Right.
And this potential can be realized only through education. Not only education, colonial education, where you learn about, who was Churchill or, Rudyard Kipling, Weizmannsberg. It's not that. It's education founded from the ground, from the needs of their localized education.
Life
education
skills.
For empowerment, education for realizing our endless potentials.
True.
There's no limit to how our imagination, our creativity can reach. There is no limit. The only limit is the lack of education and the lack of opportunities. So that's why we focus on education. And also we don't just say that we work, to go and help Africa, but we start from home, from the ground. We have 3-4 programs in Denmark. One is called Bring the World to the Classroom, where we send youth facilitators to Danish schools to teach about their about their countries, about the issues they are relating to. Now we have 3 people from the Maldives, 3 of my former students. They are going to give webinars on climate change. The Maldives has only 2 meters left. Sometimes the cabinet has to meet under the water. They have 2 meters high level left. So for them, climate change is not just, flying with a private jet to Davos or to Dubai, and talk about it and then go back,
It is serious for them,
So we have that program. It's called Bring the World to the Classroom. Last year, we reached more than 6,000 students in Denmark.
Wow.
And 6,000 students in Denmark is big things when the country is just 5 million people.
Yes.
We also have a new program. It's called Migrant Tour. We train immigrants to become tour guides of the neighborhoods they live in, to showcase this neighborhood from the perspectives of the immigrant. So they get empowered, get the knowledge and the leadership to lead schools, universities, and tourists around these areas. Finally, we have this very, very important program. It's called Food for Thought. It's about storytelling. Once a month we have someone coming to share their stories. We don't tell them to talk about other things about themselves. They are the subject. They are the object. They are the ones what makes them do what they do, what motivates them, what is their passion. Recently, we had a Nobel Prize winner. We talked about his life and how he played with, all kind of tools to become, to reach the Nobel Prize. One of our next speakers was the president of the UN General Assembly, Denmark, from Denmark. And then we bring all kind of women also to speak. Now we are looking at the list of the speakers next year. Only one man, this guy who used to be the president of the UN General Assembly. All the others are women.
Okay.
From all levels of life, because also they are the ones who embody the issues, the sustainability, peace, and so on.
That's good, yeah.
It's based on the concept, the French guy said, the philosopher said, I think therefore I am. I say that's not true. If you think and you don't share your story, then you're not.
Yes.
You have to share your story. That's why when you want to empower people, you have to give them the space to share their stories.
And Garba, thanks to you for giving us time to share your story with our podcast today.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
So friends, I hope you enjoyed this part of our conversation with Garba Diallo, founder of Crossing Border. Stay tuned and we will bring you more information from Garba in our following episodes.
Thank you for being with us. Stay tuned for more. You can also listen to these podcasts on Spotify, Apple, and Google.